everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm thrilled to be here with you today, and I hope you're doing really well. In today's video, we're going to be discussing something really different about Elvis Presley. We're going to be talking about this psychological theory called the Madonna-whore syndrome. I don't know if any of you guys know about it. The reason I'm talking about this is because some commentators and some biographers, they suggested that Elvis may have this psychological condition. So, let's have a look. Before I go any further, I think I should explain what the Madonna-whore syndrome is. You may know about it, but there's some people who don't know. For people who don't know, I'm just going to explain. Well, it's when a person, mainly a man, they don't see a woman as a whole person. They split them into two boxes, yeah? In the one box, they see a woman romantically as the pure, innocent person who, in a romantic way, they see her as pure, innocent, pretty, young, and they want a future with her, and they respect her very much. And there's another box where men see women as transient. They're just there for the moment, just to have sex with. They see them as sexual, compassionate, sexually attractive, sexual partners. So they see them as a sexual something they're attracted to sexually, and they don't respect her as much as the other type of woman, the pure and innocent one. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And because some people in their biographies, their autobiographies, and some people suggested that Elvis may have some of these traits. And I'm gonna be talking about it to see whether Elvis did have these traits, or whether I'm just going to debunk the whole thing, and we're going to see if we can prove that Elvis didn't have these type of sexual ways. We're going to see whether Elvis divided women into two different boxes, or whether he saw a woman as a whole. So we're going to have a look, guys. Well, first of all, I want to talk about Priscilla, and in her memoir, in her memoir, it was called Elvis and Me, and it came out in 1985. In her book, Elvis and Me, she said that Elvis lost interest in her when she became a mother. When she became a mother, and she had Lisa Marie Presley, when she had the baby, after she had the baby, Elvis desexualized her. This is, in a nutshell, that's what she's saying, because she said that Elvis lost interest in her romantically after Lisa was born. So she tells us that Elvis saw her just as a wife and a mother. He didn't see her in a sexual way after Lisa was born. Well, I'm going to prove to you that Elvis did not desexualize women after they became mothers. So, after motherhood, I'm going to prove that Elvis did not desexualize women, okay? But going back to Priscilla, she even went as far as saying that Elvis didn't have sex with her after Lisa was born. But I'm sorry, I'm going to have to debunk this, yeah? Because in a television show, she contradicts herself. There's a television show here in the UK where I am. It's called Loose Women, and on that show, Priscilla tells the world that she's asked the question, did you sleep with Elvis after Lisa was born? And she says yes. You can see this video on YouTube. It's called Loose Women, where Priscilla, this was about 6-7 years ago, where the panel, members of the panel on that show. It's a magazine show. It's a television magazine show where people, they have guests. They have people coming on the show, and people on the panel asked her whether she had sex, whether she was intimate with Elvis sexually after Lisa was born, and Priscilla acted surprised. Well, of course I did. Well, why do you ask that question? That's what she says. So she can't be believed. In her book, she says she didn't have sex with Elvis, and in this interview, she says she does have sex with Elvis. That she was intimate with Elvis after Lisa was born. And Elvis had girlfriends throughout his life that were mothers. So how can you say that Elvis wasn't sexually attracted to women once they became mothers? You cannot say that, because he had affairs and he had romantic relationships with different women that had children. You have Barbara Lee. She was an actress and a model, and then you have Susan Henin. She was a dancer and an actress. And I don't know if you remember the comeback special in 1968. She was the dancer. She did this erotic sultry dance with Elvis Presley in the comeback special. Yeah. Then you have Anne Pennington, who was a dancer in Elvis's circle. So these are just some examples of the women who were mothers who had a sexual relationship with Elvis. And if Elvis lost interest in Priscilla, it wasn't because he desexualized her. It's because there are many reasons why this happened. Firstly, a few months after Lisa was born, Priscilla cheated on Elvis by having an affair with her dance instructor. I believe his name is Steve Peck. She had an affair with him. Then she went on to cheat on Elvis with Mike Stone, the karate instructor. And then she dated somebody called Terry O'Neill. Well, Elvis was not happy with her having affairs. You know, they led separate lives. They were not together. They lived in the house together, but Elvis was very upset with her. He didn't want to have sex with his wife anymore because she was cheating. She was complaining. She wanted more and more things of him. And Elvis found out about the affair. We're talking about 1968, a few months after Lisa was born. She has an affair with Steve Peck. And God knows how many other affairs she's had that we don't even know about. Yeah? So, the marriage broke down. They were leading separate lives. They were living in the same house, but they weren't together romantically because of what happened, because of the cheating. And so she shouldn't blame Elvis. And she shouldn't lie. First she says she never had sex after Lisa was born. Then she says she did. So you don't know what to believe. There's no believing in her anymore. So if Elvis went off her sexually, it's most likely because the marriage broke down, guys. There's no clear-cut evidence to suggest that Elvis did not desire Priscilla sexually because she became a mother. There is no evidence, okay? There is evidence that she did have sex with him after the marriage, after she became a mother. And there's so many other factors why Elvis did not have, he was not with Priscilla sexually. He did not desire her anymore. There are many reasons for this. First of all, his lifestyle and dependency on medication. This affected his libido. As the years went by, he became more and more hooked on the medication, and he took more and more because he became desensitized to the medication. He became tolerant, so he had to take more and more to get the effect from the medication. So he was heavily dependent on prescription medication, so that makes it difficult because and Elvis, he became isolated, he became depressed. Yeah, he was struggling to sleep. When you don't sleep, the last thing on your mind is sex. because you are not sleeping. Yeah, people misunderstood Elvis. They think he's had so many affairs that he was sleeping around from woman to woman. No, he wanted the companionship of women more than anything else. He loved women, not just sexually. He loved their company. He loved spending time with them, just hugging them and kissing them. Because we've had lots of evidence from his girlfriends saying that they were virgins and they never slept with him. It was just a hug and a kiss and reading the Bible together and being intimate in so many other ways, not just sexual ways. So he desired women, he loved women, he just loved women. He loved their femininity, their charm. He loved women, full stop. So all these factors, his medication, his depression, his isolation, his fame, where he became a prisoner of his own popularity. He couldn't go out at all, you know. So all these factors play. What can I say? All these factors come into play. Yeah, when Elvis, during Elvis's time in the latter part of his life, you know. Also, Elvis was away very often. He was touring. He wasn't there. So let me turn off this fan because it's making too much noise and I don't know if people can hear me. There was an emotional distance between Elvis and Priscilla because of the nature of his job, where he had to tour a lot. He had shows. He was touring all over the world, all over the US, you know? And he was very tired. He was overworked, very tired, and he was under a lot of pressure. And he wasn't happy with Priscilla because she cheated on him, and obviously he may have cheated on Priscilla too. Yeah. So he wasn't actually desiring Priscilla because he was away so much, and he didn't want Priscilla anyway in his life. They were leading separate lives. So he was having an affairs with other women. Yeah? So, anyway, what I'm trying to say, the fame, his public image, his medical condition, these are also reasons why Elvis became distant with Priscilla. And let's move away from Priscilla for now, yeah? I want to talk about the era Elvis grew up in. He grew up in the 50s and the 60s, where people were very conservative, and the culture was that young, innocent, feminine, pure women were considered attractive. They were considered desirable. Okay, in that era. And what's wrong with a man desiring a pure woman? Why is it such a sin now for men to desire pure women? Virgins. Why? Why is it such a bad thing? It was a positive thing in America in the 50s. So it was his southern upbringing as well, his southern lifestyle, where women were considered pure and innocent and more favorable than women who were not. And Elvis, because of the culture back in the 50s, he was attracted to younger women. That's not because of this complex. It's not the Madonna-whore Complex that's making him desire younger women. It's how he was brought up. It's how Gladys brought him up. Yeah? She wanted him to marry a pure woman, a woman who was a virgin, who was untouched by any other man. It was considered an advantage. It was considered a good thing to marry a pure woman back in the 50s, okay? So that doesn't mean a man can desire a pure woman. That doesn't mean he's putting the woman in two separate boxes. Do you understand? Because Elvis Presley, he respected all types of women. He respected mothers. He had affairs with mothers. and he respected them just the same as he respected a pure innocent girl. So you can't say that Elvis had the Madonna-whore complex, because he did not have the traits of a Madonna-whore complex. So his outlook on life, his mindset, it was shaped by his southern upbringing. And he was influenced by Gladys, his mum. So some biographers say that he idolized women who felt innocent, religious, traditional, and modest. But he never put women into two different boxes. And this psychological theory, it doesn't exist anymore. It's outdated, you know, and Elvis was not diagnosed with any of this Madonna-whore complex. And I don't like using the word whore, but I can't find any other suitable name. So women that were pure and innocent, traditional, were desired more than other women, okay? But Elvis desired all types of women, you know, whether they're mothers, whether they're older, the younger. So we can see from the relationships that he had, he dated mothers. He had relationships, sexual relationships with mothers, with children. He didn't split them into two, sexual woman versus pure woman. He didn't do that. So we can see from the evidence that Elvis respected all types of women. Elvis had affairs with women who were just passing through his life, yeah? But he respected them. He behaved like a gentleman with all types of women. What I'm trying to say is that he did not compartmentalize women. He did not put them in boxes, which is what the phenomenon, the Madonna-whore complex, the phenomenon is where you put women in boxes. Yeah, you desire the one and you don't desire the other. So it's an outdated psychological complex, guys. So Elvis led a very complex life, yeah? His life was shaped by culture, personality, the addictions, his upbringing. And I'm sure some men did desexualize women. Back in the 50s, after women had children, some men, they did not desire their wives as much as before, and that is normal. It happens now. You know, the woman is busy raising the baby, there's hormonal changes in her body. Some men have difficulties accepting the woman as a mother, but it does not mean you are a Madonna-whore complex kind of guy, yeah? Elvis was never diagnosed with this syndrome or complex. Honestly, guys, Elvis would be so proud of us debunking all his lies. Oh my God, if he was alive now and if he can see us, you know, we're trying so hard for you, babe. We're trying so hard. Yeah. So, guys, we need to separate fact from fiction. The concept of the Madonna-whore complex was not around back in the 50s, okay? It's a modern day phenomenon, and now it's outdated. It's not even brought up anymore. So what can we take away from this video? Yeah, from today's video, we can see many details circulating online and in the media, where These commentators, these biographers, they have been very selective, exaggerated. They're taking the meaning of something, they're taking it out of context to sensationalize their work, to earn more money, to get more recognition, to make people buy their books. This is why they're doing this. This salacious gossip just to put Elvis down, and it makes people buy books. Yeah, anything controversial, shocking makes a person buy the book. So Elvis's lack of desire for Priscilla stems from their failing marriage. Yeah, not this psychological label called the Madonna-whore Complex. And well, Elvis, I hope I've done you justice. I'm trying my best to debunk this stupid lie. And you know, by repeating and repeating this and talking about it, it's only spreading this gossip. It's a gossip. It's not true. There's no verified proof. There's no validity in what people are saying. It's just gossip. Yeah? There are no verified spokespeople, first-hand knowledge, first-hand experience of this thing. Yeah? It's just a myth, guys. Just to add gossip, add drama in their books. Yeah, they want to sell their books. They want to sell their articles and periodicals. They want news. They want people to come and read their news. So they change the truth. They exaggerate. They bend the truth. You know, and I think that's it from me now, guys. Yeah, I think I've said all I wanted to say really about this subject, and I'm not going to be talking about this ever again. I've said it, I've talked about it once, talking about this gossip. When we gossip about people, yes, when you can debunk it, then you can talk about it. But when you talk about Elvis and you talk about his private life, really private things, like oh my God, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to do another video on it anyway. When it comes to really private matters, by talking about these things, you are only disrespecting Elvis, disrespecting his dignity, and spreading false stories about him. Because people don't know. They might get curious. They might start believing these things. You know, the less said, the better. So people, I'm warning you, people on YouTube who are talking about Elvis's very, very private sexual things to do with his mother by Dee. Dee spoke about Elvis 40 years ago on a television show, and some YouTubers are starting to talk about the same thing every time, over and over and over and over again. What's that doing to Elvis's memory? You're not defending Elvis by talking about these things. What David wrote in his book, what Dee said. We've said it once, we've debunked it. People have defended Elvis over the years. Once we debunk something, there's no need to mention it, and some stuff cannot be debunked. It's just gossip. Yeah? Because we weren't there. We weren't there to see with our eyes whether it happened. What Dee said, we went in that bedroom to see what happened. Yeah? So there's no need to mention things that were spoken about 40 years ago. Yeah? Because it's gossip. It's gossip. What value does it bring? It doesn't bring any value to Elvis. It doesn't debunk it. It's just, you're just talking about the gossip that was talked about 40 years ago, and you are reminding people, and new people that don't know Elvis might believe it. You know, you need to watch what you say, because you're not respecting Elvis's dignity. You know, you need to respect his dignity, guys. They need to respect his dignity, and that's not happening because they want to bring people to their channels, and they think by talking about this juicy gossip, they can bring people to their channels, bring controversial things. That's not the way to do it, guys. If you can debunk the lies, then you go and talk about them, and that's it. You talk about it once, like I've done now. I've talked about this once, the Madonna-whore Complex. I will not be talking about it ever again, because I've proved my point. Yeah, I've debunked the lie, and that's it. That's it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to, I don't need to repeat the same story again and again and again and talking about people, you know? I won't be talking about David's book, David Stanley's book over and over and over and over and over again, like some YouTubers who are just devaluing Elvis. They're killing his self-respect, his reputation. They're defaming him by talking about this, which I'm not going to say at the moment, yeah? It's in another video. I'll be talking about these two private things that people gossip about. And when I mention it, it's going to be once. Only if I can debunk the lies, I will. And I'm not going to be talking about the thing. I'm going to explain why we shouldn't. We should not be talking about very private things. Yeah, because you're only destroying Elvis's reputation. Because people are not there. They might believe the gossip. They might believe the false allegations. They might get curious and they might start looking into it. You don't know that. The future generation, you need to think about that. Yeah? Because you are not helping Elvis by continuously talking about this sexual things like Dee said and fetishes. You cannot be talking about these things over and over again, non-stop. You're not doing Elvis, you're doing Elvis a disservice if you do that. So I'm warning YouTubers out there, stop talking about Stanley, stop talking about David's book, stop talking about all these things. Because you are wrecking Elvis's reputation. You are devaluing him. You know, you don't need to talk about these things. You don't. It's not making a difference. What are you debunking? If you mention the gossip that people gossiped about 40 years ago, you're just spreading the gossip. You're not doing nothing. If you can't debunk it, don't say it. That's all I need to tell people, because some people, they just want to drive traffic to their channels by mentioning the D thing, what D said, what D Stanley said, what David said. And David is just repeating what his mother said. He doesn't agree with it. Really does not agree with it. Yeah? For the sake of telling the truth. They are telling the truth. They are telling the truth. They should have mentioned it in the books. That's right, they shouldn't be doing that. But they are telling the truth about what their mum said. Yeah? This is what my mum said, this is what Dee said, and they're leaving it at that. You guys are picking up on David, and you are going online and discussing what David said in detail. You are opening a big can of worms. You do not go into detail and start looking into details and chipping away at the words and telling people about what Dee said and how she did it and why. And why? What's the point? What's the point? There's no point. My channel does not do that. My channel respects Elvis. It respects Elvis's reputation. There's no need to continuously mention. We know it's wrong. We know it lies. They're all lies. But we've said it a million times. We don't need to keep saying it. We don't need to keep saying it. Bringing it back into the open, resurfacing everything. What was said? Some people, I didn't know what Dee said. I only learnt it from channels. Some people don't read the Elvis books. They just love the guy. They just want to remember the music, his kindness, his generosity, his philanthropy, his humanity, his compassion, his generosity. Why are you mentioning disgusting things, allegations, which cannot be verified? There is no point, because you're not adding anything. If you were adding anything of value, then you can discuss it. But you're not. So I've done everything. I've done my venting, and that's it. I don't want to discuss it anymore, because I know it's wrong to discuss these kind of things. And I just wanted to tell YouTubers, don't do it. If you love Elvis, you wouldn't do it. And basically, that's it, guys. Yeah. So let me relax. I'm relaxed. I'm calm. Right. I just want to say thank you, guys. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for your kindness and your love, and for the comments, and for all the people, the true fans that really love Elvis. I'm with you guys. Yeah? We are here to honor Elvis's memory and debunk the lies, which is the title of my channel. Honouring the memory, debunking the lies. What better thing can you do for Elvis? Honouring his memory, playing his music, talking about his talent, his God-gifted talents. I mean, oh, people don't want to do that, do they? They think it's boring. Well, it's not boring, guys. Listen to Elvis. You'll be hooked. You'll be transported into this different world. Yeah? His music, his voice is so soothing, so calming, so angelic. It's like you've drifted into another plane, you've been transported into another realm, more spiritually. So, thank you for watching, guys. I love you guys, and do comment do comment about what you think about the Madonna-whore syndrome, and if there's anything you need to add to it. You may know more things than I do. You're very, very welcome to add whatever you want to add. Yeah, and I will be reading all your comments and responding to them. So, like Elvis says, thank you very much. I love you guys. Bye for now.